Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I want to open it up to the floor here to do questions. We have a mic up here, so if you wouldn't mind, maybe Brian, if you could help me manage the mic, and we'll get some questions from the audience. All right.
Thank you. So I represent 7 counties, that swath of all of that terrain out there. And when you talk about digital divide, it's geographic as much as it's economic and potentially racial. But just my comment is that we have an opportunity to create equity. Mm-hmm. And that is our challenge, because everyone's traveling with this. And we have, that tourism is one of our biggest industries, and you can't get connectivity when you're traveling in many parts of the state. That's one piece, but also our anchor institutions do not have reliable, redundant service. I have a hospital that costs $20,000 a month to hook it to the internet and has no redundancy. So a line cut 200 miles away takes it down for a day. And it happens repeatedly. So it is that kind of issue that let's open it up, but let's also open up the opportunity and to connect my schools, connect my hospitals, connect my main streets. And when I have big businesses, I'm talking about a ski area, a big lodge, and they can't run credit cards. I mean, it is that kind of inequity that Main Street, as much as Boulder, Denver, Colorado Springs, are entitled to having access. So when I look at innovation, I look at innovation that can accommodate all the parts of Colorado. And that's where we have an opportunity when we do have a high-cost fund in place, like we did with the REAs and the electrical wiring. We knew the big electric companies weren't going to the farmhouse. So we had to have government be part of it, and he said it, that public-private partnership is exactly the solution, because we can put together new technologies, new opportunities, new transmission that can give us access in those rural areas. And I know Senator Sheffel is sensitive to those issues as well, but it seems to be, as we move forward, everyone should have the opportunity to move forward. And so that's my piece, as we talk about it and we talk about good opportunity, that we make sure that there's equity associated with when it comes to geography as well.
Thank you. Does anybody have any follow-up to her comments?
I mean, I'll be quick. Senator, I've just spoken. Please.
Just to say that absolutely, and I appreciate Senator Schwartz and me. Previously, she now represents part of the area that I used to represent, and very familiar with those issues. And I mentioned it. Topography in Colorado makes this difficult. Heart and soul of the discussion is how we solve this and try to find that right balance. I'm betting on the entrepreneurs. I'm betting on the industry, that they're going to see the opportunity for business, be it in providing service to public entities and the privates, the ski industries. I know there are issues, and I know they're working on it, and I know they're partly hampered by the regulatory environment. And I know at some point here we disagree a little bit, but the discussion is important. I mean, we want to get to the same goal, and we see the value of this technology and it getting to the areas of the state. And I think at heart and soul that is be judicious in how we bring the public sector into it. We know we be judicious in how we do that, and really provide the environment for entrepreneurs and the very people that we're sitting here with to be able to work their magic. I mean, they understand the technology better than anybody. I've heard about instances where just about the time we ramp up with one set of technologies, the new ones are already there, and what's new today is old tomorrow. And we just it's back to the policy, but the discussion is important, and being sensitive to the needs. I know I've talked at length with folks in Leadville, and this is why the bipartisanship is important. Is why the discussion is important. It's frankly why we're here this morning. Good question.
And, I work for a president from Arkansas and a vice president from Tennessee. So I spent a lot of my life worrying about what was happening in rural America. In Digital Divide, we did have a racial and economic component, but we also knew that geography was as much a determinant as anything else. From 1993 to 1999, I was up less than 99, one of our commitments was connect every school, every library, every hospital, and every rural health clinic to the internet. And we were successful. I think we left with 99% of classrooms were connected by 2000 when the end of the Clinton administration ended. So we had a focus on making sure that every person in this country that had a kid in school, that kid was going to have access to the internet. We need the same kind of resolve. No, it is absolute agreement on that. One of the things that I worry about is we can't let past models dictate future innovation. And that's the hedge, because there are economic realities today in terms of who's servicing those communities, how they're serving them, but they're not serving them as well as we want them to. So I do think we need to look, what would, if we didn't have any infrastructure in these areas and wanted to get broadband, how would we do it, how would we fund it, what should it look like? And we have to take off some of the blinders that impose upon us because what we know, and we also have to take off some of the the backpack we're wearing with regard to how we got to where we are. Where we are isn't good enough for your constituents. So how do we take them so that one of your constituents has the exact same opportunity to access to quality broadband that somebody in Boulder or somebody in Denver has? That's a conversation we have to have, and I think it's a conversation that's being held. I don't think there's any, I've never met anybody who didn't want to serve all 320 million Americans. The question is how, and how do we pay for it?
Do you have anything there? Any other questions? All right, well, we really appreciate the expertise and the experience that you shared with us today. Thank you much to the panelists, and thank you everybody for coming today. Have a great one.
I wish I could get passionate about this stuff. I just don't care. You know, it's like if I could only have a little passion. Sir, if I can be any help to you at all.
You've already been a tremendous help. Just such an encouragement when just taking the time to come. So we will keep in touch.
Thank you. Representative Cardiff, same, if I can ever be helpful, let me know.
I will.
Any trip to Colorado, I'm happy to go.
It's a good thing.